Hi, Andrea here for leadsandconversion.com, and in this video I'm going to tell you which are the most important elements on your web pages. And well, you see here I have two suggestions. Don't listen to opinions and experiment. And why? Because there are best practices, yes, but really nobody can come to you and say on your page, on your home page or about page or product page, whatever, you should have this, and this. Why? Because these are hypotheses they're making. They don't know your audience. They don't know the journeys that your audience performs inside the website. And so how they're primed when they land on the page that we are talking about. And so this has to be determined with experiments. Now I'm going to show you a way to do that, starting from a page that you may design yourself or with the help of a designer or whatever. You can buy the page ready-made, but then the point is after you have that page, you have to run your tests and you have to figure out which elements deserve their position on the page and which you should eliminate. Let's see. So first one, experiment. So this is just don't listen to opinions. You have to experiment. So how do we do that? We have essentially three phases. One is design, the second is validation, and the third one is improvement. So in the design phase, you want to follow best practices to create your page, and you want to incorporate in the design of the page as many elements as possible. Now, when you do that, you can end up with massive pages, like with a lot of stuff on the page. And you always have to make sure that the page loads fast enough, because if it doesn't, well, people will leave while the page is loading. It doesn't help you. So you have to arrive to a compromise where you have a nice page with enough information on it and that doesn't take forever to load. Okay, this is very important. Now, what to do after you have all these elements on the page? By the way, what elements are we talking about? We are talking about the header section, your value proposition, call to action, main call to action, secondary call to action. Maybe you want to have social proof. Maybe you want to have testimonials. Maybe you want to have links to relevant sections of your site. And please don't link the blog. You are sending people backwards. You have to link like product pages, category pages, and all the pages that help you move towards the goal, which is either getting a lead or selling something. Okay, so everything you put on the page should move people forward, not backwards, and the blog is backwards. So don't ever put the blog on your pages. That you can put it in the footer if you want. Even the footer is something you have to test. And the navigation menu, like I have a lot of sites I've been working with. We removed the navigation menu entirely because we saw with testing that it was hurting conversion, because people tend to spin around if you have the navigation menu on top. So we ended up putting the menu in the footer. So people have to go through the page before they get to the footer, and they get lost less. Okay, let's go back to this. So you have your page here with all your nice elements that you put there. And now we will validate the page. And how do we do that? So we create a copy of the page, and we're going to make a redirect test, which is somehow easier when you are testing elements. This could be also an A/B test, because what we're going to do next on the copy, we are going to remove one section or element from the page, and then we will split test the copy against the original. So we want to see if the page without that element performs better or worse than the original. And when I say perform, I mean in terms of sales, conversion. If it doesn't go to sales directly, it could be leads, so lead generation. But whatever it is that you are trying to achieve with that page, and by the way, each page should have a specific objective, that it achieves. And if it doesn't have it, you are doing something wrong. So think page. What do I want to achieve with this page? If anything, you want people to move to the next page, okay? So if you don't have a form, then you need to send them to the page where is the form. If you're not selling a product, you need to send them to the page where you're selling a product, and so on. So it can be a navigation goal, it can be a lead goal, or a sales goal generally. But yeah, you want to measure if the new page without the element performs better or worse. Now, there are two cases. It performs better, then you keep it means that that element was actually hurting conversion, or it performs worse. So it means that that element was helping conversion. Here you have to make a decision, okay? And it's pretty easy when you see the numbers. Are you going to keep the version with the element or the version without the element, okay? And as I said, you can run this as an A/B test instead of a redirect test. So you basically edit out in the variation this section or element you want to remove. This is pretty simple to do with an A/B testing tool. So your choice, redirect or A/B test. And then after you have removed basically sequentially one after the other all the elements, at this point your page should be considerably shorter because you have found elements that do not bring anything to conversion, so you don't need them. And remember, you want your pages to be as concise as possible, so don't make a page which is super long if it's not necessary, okay? Remove as much as possible until conversion goes down. And when you are at that point, you can start to improve. Now, the improvement is exactly the same process with the difference that now we are not removing sections or elements, but we change them. We change the copy, we change the message, we may change the graphics, and the goal is to find a solution that works better to pitch to the customer, to the visitor, the action that we want him to take on the page. All right. So this is super simple. If you follow this, you design for everything, then you validate by removing elements from the page, and then finally you start improving the elements that are left on the page. If you follow this very simple, I lost the focus. If you follow these very simple steps, you will end up with a page that has exactly the elements that it should have. That's it for this video. I'll see you at the next one. Ciao.